If you are looking for the best smartwatches for Android, this video is for you. Here is the 5 best smartwatches for Android users. Don't forget to check the link in the description for pricing. Number 1. Samsung Galaxy Watch 5 Pro. Best smartwatch for Samsung phones. If you have a Samsung phone, you'll get the most mileage out of a Samsung smartwatch. And of the 2 watches Samsung released this year, the $449.99 Galaxy Watch 5 Pro will get you the best overall experience. It's not a big upgrade from last year's Galaxy Watch 4, but it's stylish, lasts longer on a single charge, and adds some neat GPS features. The Pro edges out a win over the regular Galaxy Watch 5, thanks to its battery life. We got up to 65 hours in testing, though if you enable the always-on display, you'll more likely get around 48 to 50 hours. Still, that's a notable bump over either the 40mm Galaxy Watch 5 or the Galaxy Watch 4 lineup. Software updates have improved the battery life on these watches, but you'll still have to charge them daily or every other day. And the Pixel Watch only lasts around 24 hours. The 45mm Pro wears surprisingly small for a fitness watch of its size, and the bigger sapphire crystal display makes text easier to read. And while it's too bad Samsung did away with the physical rotating bezel, the Pro's raised lip makes the touch bezel easier to use than the flat one on the vanilla Watch 5. We also like the deployant clasp, which is both secure and comfortable to wear. If you want cellular connectivity, you can pay $50 extra plus your carrier's monthly fee for the LTE version. The watch also has dual SIM support, so long as you have a phone that also supports dual SIM. Wear OS 3 is snappy on the Pro, and Samsung's version of Wear OS is intuitive to use and makes better use of the watch's circular display than Google's default UI. Samsung also added some neat accessibility features, like color filters and the ability to rebalance audio. The switch to Wear OS means you're getting a much more robust third-party app experience than on Tizen-powered Samsung smartwatches, like the Galaxy Watch 3 and the Galaxy Watch Active lineup. You also get more flexibility on services than with any other Wear OS watch. For example, if you want to kick Bixby to the curb in favor of Google Assistant, you can. The same goes for Samsung Pay and Google Wallet. If you want a more in-depth look at how this watch stacks up compared to the Pixel Watch in particular. Samsung Health also delivers a good overall fitness tracking experience, especially since you can enable turn-by-turn navigation for hiking and cycling activities. We weren't too impressed with nightly SpO2 readings, but Samsung's overall sleep tracking is good. You also get built-in GPS, body composition analysis, irregular heart rate notifications, fall detection, emergency SOS features, and EKGs. We don't necessarily recommend the Galaxy Watch 5 or 5 Pro if you don't have a Samsung phone. EKGs require the Samsung Health Monitor app, which is limited to Samsung phones. Also, while you can customize the buttons to launch your digital assistant of choice, the shortcut for contactless payments is hard-coded to Samsung Pay, which is also gated to Samsung phones unless you sideload the APK, and requires you to sign up for Samsung service. You can work around it, but all Samsung watches work best with other Samsung devices. The Galaxy Watch 5 is also a solid alternative, both in the 40mm, $279.99, and 44mm, $309.99 sizes. You'll get worse battery life, it's not as durable, and there's no turn-by-turn navigation. However, the extra savings may be a worthwhile trade-off. Number 2. Google Pixel Watch. Best Android smartwatch for non-Samsung users. The $349.99 Google Pixel Watch is a gorgeous smartwatch, but it is a first-gen device with some notable growing pains. The Galaxy Watch 5 lineup will get you a more polished experience, but the Pixel Watch is the better choice for anyone who isn't on a Samsung smartphone. That's because of ecosystems. Some features of Samsung's watches only work with Samsung phones. The Pixel Watch doesn't care what Android phone you have, you'll get the same experience regardless. Broadly speaking, it's also always going to have the latest updates to Google services like Google Maps, Google Wallet, YouTube Music, and Google Assistant because, well, it's Google's smartwatch. Speaking of which, Buying the Pixel Watch will also get you a 6-month trial of Fitbit Premium and a 3-month trial of YouTube Music. One thing to be mindful of is durability. While the domed display is beautiful, we cracked one of our review units in a week. The others were fine, however. You also won't get the best battery life at 24 hours. Less if you use the always-on display, but it is fairly standard for this category. It's also got a proprietary strap mechanism, though we're beginning to see third-party straps hit the market. These trade-offs are a big reason why this first-gen device isn't our overall pick. However, it's still a promising device that's a good choice for first adopters. 3. Fossil Gen 6. The best watch you can upgrade to Wear OS 3. You could argue that by putting out a horde of Wear OS watches year after year, Fossil has single-handedly kept Wear OS afloat during its darkest days. On the bright side, that commitment to the platform means the $299 General 6 is one of the safest buys in the world of Android smartwatches. Not only is Fossil in it for the long haul, but it's also taken customer feedback into consideration for future designs. The Fossil Gen 6 is, for the moment, a Wear OS 2 watch running on a Snapdragon Wear 4100 chip. That's a big reason why you can find it on sale pretty often, usually for around $220 to $230. It's a modest discount, but this is a smarter pick than a 3100 powered Wear OS watch, like the Gen 5 and Gen 5e, even if you find them for much less. That's because Fossil started rolling out the Wear OS 3 upgrade to its Gen 6 smartwatches on October 17. This applies to any designer-branded smartwatch under the Fossil umbrella, like the Skagen Falster Gen 6 and the Michael Kors Gen 6. One thing to be mindful of is durability. While the domed display is beautiful, we cracked one of our review units in a week. The others were fine, however. You also won't get the best battery life at 24 hours. Less if you use the always-on display, but it is fairly standard for this category. It's also got a proprietary strap mechanism, though we're beginning to see third-party straps hit the market. These trade-offs are a big reason why this first-gen device isn't our overall pick. However, it's still a promising device that's a good choice for first adopters. The Gen 6 watches have Alexa compatibility, contactless payments via Google Wallet, and access to the Google Play Store for third-party apps like Strava and Spotify. There's no timeline just yet for Google Assistant if you upgrade to Wear OS 3, and it's been removed from Wear OS 2. Because the company also just released its $299 General 6 Wellness Edition, it's also beefed up available health features across the Gen 6 devices. That includes SpO2 readings, VO2 max, automatic workout tracking, heart rate zones, continuous heart rate monitoring outside of workouts, and improved sleep tracking. The Wellness Edition comes with Wear OS 3 out of the box, which is a tad more convenient. However, if you don't mind the extra step of upgrading, picking up any Gen 6 watch on sale isn't a bad way to save some extra moolah. Number 4. Mobvoi TicWatch Pro 3 Ultra GPS. The best fitness smartwatch for Android. Like the Fossil Gen 6, the $299.99 Mobvoi TicWatch Pro 3 Ultra GPS is a Wear OS 2 watch running on a Qualcomm Snapdragon 4100 chip. That means it's eligible for an upgrade to Wear OS 3, though Mobvoi hasn't begun rolling that out just yet. Still, the TicWatch lineup has its devoted fans for a reason. Mobvoi's watches are a great alternative to the Fossil Gen 6, and this one, in particular, is good for fitness-focused people who aren't keen on giving up smart capabilities for a Garmin or Polar. It's also more durable. While it lacks a sapphire crystal display, you do get military-grade durability, which is stronger than smartwatches without it. The TicWatch supports stress tracking, all-day blood oxygen monitoring, fatigue assessments, as well as atrial fibrillation and irregular heartbeat detection. For outdoorsy types, it also has access to GPS, GLONASS, Galileo, QZSS, and Beidou. Plus, you get 72 hours of battery life. It might not hold a candle to a top-of-the-line Garmin, but it's also a smarter watch for a fraction of the price. Number 5. Garmin VivoMove Sport. The best hybrid smartwatch. If all you want is simple fitness tracking and notifications in a more subtle device, the $179.99 Garmin VivoMove Sport is a great, affordable option. It looks like a swatch, complete with real analog hands, but has a hidden OLED for notifications. Basically, if you don't want people to know you've got a smartwatch on, a hybrid smartwatch is the way to go. Plus, it's compatible with both iOS and Android if you want to reserve the option to switch between both ecosystems. You are giving up certain smart features, like contactless payments, digital assistants, and built-in GPS. The hidden display can deliver the basics, like notifications, the time, and basic health stats. However, what it lacks in smarts, it makes up for with battery life. You get an estimated 5 days on a single charge. On the fitness front, it's an accurate tracker despite its lack of built-in GPS. As for health tracking, you get access to a ton of in-depth data from Garmin's platform,